my friends, Jerry Rosa here in the Rosa Stringworks Man Cave. And yeah, it's still cold, but we're up to like 36 right now. So this is the first time we've been above freezing for several days, I think, which is nice. That does give the snow a chance to melt, although at 36, it's not going to melt real fast. And as the title says, it was quite a bit warmer last night than it was the night before, but as you'll see, that doesn't mean everything that it sounds like. In fact, I think we'll just start off with the little short video I have for you, so here you go. Thought I'd give everyone a glimpse of what it looks like down here in Antarctica. It's pretty cool though that it was actually 27 degrees warmer last night than the night before. Yet it still only got up to 11 degrees Fahrenheit, which, if you're keeping score, is 21 degrees below the freezing point of water. So it's still colder than, yeah, it's really cold. Yeah, it's just nuts. I am going through the wood so fast. This was the top of that big tree, and there was a lot of wood there. Of course, I've been splitting some of the bigger stuff. I've also been chewing through the green wood over there, I'll throw 2 or 3 pieces of dry wood in there, or, dead wood. This isn't even really what you would call dry. The tree was still standing, and it was dead for the last couple of years, so it's relatively dry. That other wood over there was cut out of a green tree. And then this is some more of the big dead tree. But I've been splitting them by hand and throwing it in there. So I'm just throwing in a mixture just to have a good burn. I need to clean the ash out again. It's really getting pretty full in there. But this is not the best time to be cleaning the ash out. Thought I'd just give you a little drive around and let you see some more of the scenery around here with the snow on the ground. Well, there's what's left of the big tree, and there's quite a bit there. Don't get me wrong, that's a lot of firewood. If that was all split, I don't know if you'd call that, I'd say it's close to 2 cords up there, because that's really big stuff. It doesn't look like it, but in the video, but trust me, that's really big. In fact, the longest log up there, again, that's the thing, I'm not sure my Bobcat can pick that up. I mean, it's that big. Oh, I'm sure it'd pick it up, but it wouldn't be easy. One thing you can pretty much count on whenever it snows like this is that we will get no mail service. And as you can see, there's no tracks near the mailbox there. Actually, the closest one is me checking to see if there was any old mail left in there. And no, there wasn't. The pond, I'm sure, is definitely thick enough to skate on now. The problem is that it's real rough ice because of the snow and everything. I'm sure it's plenty thick to skate on though, as cold as it's been for the last, several days. You can see that the water wheel is not in its most happy state. It's really nasty out here. It's just nasty, man. I guess the water's still flowing. I would assume it is. I haven't checked that even. But I mean, I don't know how it would not be flowing. Can we even see if it is? It doesn't look like it's flowing. Oh, it is. I see drips going down through the ice there. But it's minimal. Yeah. Yeah, I am positive that ice is thick enough. I don't think there'd be any problem walking out on it. Except that I'm afraid I'll fall through and bust my neck, or fall down and bust my neck. Yeah, I'm out on top of the ice now. I'm not even hearing any cracking. And with the snow on it, that's my only reservation. That sometimes won't freeze where the snow is, maybe. But it's plenty solid. So, yeah, I just thought I'd give you a winter view of, you've seen it in the summer. Uh-oh, I forgot Sue put all these rocks underneath that, so that's kind of hard to walk up. Yeah, thank goodness, as far as I know, we've had no real significant damage this time. I did get my water unfroze yesterday out of my bathroom. It took a long time though, but it finally thawed out, and as far as I could tell, it didn't break anything, and that was good. Maybe a project for this year, maybe, and I'm just saying maybe because I got so many projects, would be to restore this spring house here and bring it up to date. Try to get the water flowing through it properly, because it's kind of found new roots and things. It's not flowing like it used to. So might work on that if we get a chance this spring. I don't know. I got so many irons in the fire. It's hard to say. But the old water wheel house still seems to be faring pretty well. I still think it's amazing that those cypress trees lose all those what look like needles, but they're not needles. They're actually leaves. They look like needles the way they're made. They're definitely deciduous trees, and they are definitely cypress trees. Yeah, the old barn and all that over there, if you took the right picture, it could almost look like a postcard, couldn't it? Yeah, it's just wonderful living here in Antarctica. I wanted to move to the South Pole rather than the North Pole. I just thought it might be a little warmer. It's not really much different, to be honest. No, it takes a lot to freeze that pond. It takes a lot. Trust me. I've lived here since '98, and it's only froze solid enough to get on about, maybe that's the third or fourth time. It just doesn't happen very often. It's takes a lot. Well, other bodies of water will freeze much, much faster. That pond being spring-fed and being deep, it just doesn't freeze over very easy. So when you can see that thing solid, it's been cold. It's just weird how it's so darn cold here. It just seemed like we picked the coldest spot in Missouri to live. Except I know that's not true, because northern Missouri is way, way colder. In fact, when you get across the Missouri River in northern Missouri, there's kind of a belt or a border across there, somewhere around Troy, Missouri, and from there north, you can, it can be really nice weather down here, and you start up there, and you'll start to see snow on the ground and stuff, and you think, why? This is crazy. So it's really a lot colder the further north you go. So I know you guys up in like Minnesota and
Wisconsin, you're used to this. But typically, we don't have winters quite this cold. That's really about all I have for today, so let's just go through the comments and see what's up. David Tharp says, if you haven't seen the Miracle Woodworker video about carving a slot in the stock with hard ornery wood that don't want to be carved and fitting a clip that refused to be fitted, you should. Yeah, if you haven't seen my video, I would appreciate it. And even if you have seen it, I'd appreciate you go in there and click the thumbs up and also make a positive comment. I mean, it doesn't have to be about that you like what I did, but positive in the sense that, it being a gun stock video and you say something like, YouTube, we'd like to see more videos like this or something, just because I don't even know how to explain it. It's ridiculous that they take a video like that, which is nothing wrong with that video at all, and they turn it into something like it's sinister. We can't put an ad on this because our advertisers don't approve of this. Oh, kiss my grits. That's all I got to say about it. Wayne Blitz says, good afternoon, Jerry and friends. Hope all is well with everyone. Keep it safe. Ronald Todd says, good afternoon, Jerry and everyone from the West Banks of New Jersey. 18 degrees here now, high for today. Yeah, we've been there. It seems like it's maybe the coldest of it has passed, maybe, but Sue says it's supposed to get pretty cold again. That's what she said. I don't know. We'll see when it happens. David Tharp says, we're having a tropical heat wave in southeast Missouri. It's up to a balmy 25 degrees. Yeah, where we're actually at about 36, I think, now, somewhere around that, which is really nice compared to where we were. Joe Cool's sending you afternoon smiles to make your day brighter. Well, it's pretty bright out there today. That sun's shining. That makes all the difference in the world. That even helps your attitude, because when it's just dark and dreary and freezing cold and windy, it's just not fun at all. And I'll be honest, I've hit a case of the lazies here just over the last couple of days. Every 4 to 5 hours, I'm out there feeding that wood furnace, so I just don't feel like doing anything else. Gino Hitch says, hi, Jerry and friends. Somebody please turn up the thermostat. I hope everyone is staying warm. Were you able to work on the Bobcat? You probably full-time on the firewood. Yeah, I haven't messed with the Bobcat or the sound thing. I just don't have the motivation at the moment. And I just feel like, what the heck? It's not a bad thing to just take a little mini vacation, and just not do anything. But, I mean, my not doing anything is chucking a wheelbarrow full of wood in that fireplace and splitting it most of the time by hand about every 4 or 5 hours. That's not doing anything. Kim Z, hello from Arizona. And let's see. Gary Hayden says 2.8 degrees Fahrenheit on my porch this morning in East Tennessee. Well, you had us beat because we got down to 11 last night. And that's still pretty doggone chilly. Let's see. Bill Rhodes says, good afternoon. Bo Horn says, hey, everyone, we still have ice everywhere around here. Travel is a real hazard. Hopefully we can thaw out soon. Well, I hope so, too, because especially down that far south, it just ain't right. Bill Mombo says, hi, you folks. Yolanda's Music says, good afternoon, Jerry. Driving to Pittsburgh today. Thought Mark's doctor's appointment was Friday, but it's tomorrow at 7 a.m. He's got his dates mixed up. Wow. Well, God bless you. Hope that all goes super, super well. And drive safe. Tom Artstrong says, thought I might build a snowman, metal detecting, but I was afraid that I might become that snowman. You could do that out there today. I've never tried to metal detect with snow on the ground. Is that a true statement? It's probably not 100% true, but definitely not with this much snow on the ground. I think I've underestimated how much snow we got. I said we got 6, 7 inches. I'm pretty positive we got every bit of 7 and possibly 8 or 9 even. it's settled a lot now, over the 2 or 3 days. But I'm pretty sure if I went out there right now on top of those blocks where it's piled up, I'm pretty sure it would be easy 6 inches still. So I'd say we got every bit of 8, maybe 9 inches. Let's see. Gary Hayden says, all this snow in your video reminded me that I've heard old-timers claim snow is like fertilizer to farmland. Well, I've never heard that. I never have. I can tell you the fire is like fertilizer. It really is. And when you burn your fields, I mean that even being colorblind, I can see a huge difference in how green the fields are. And I'm red-green colorblind. But you can see a huge difference. It's so much of a brighter color when after a fire's been through. Gary Smith says, Jerry, I can send you down an ice scraper, no pun intended, from Minnesota for you to scrape the ice and snow off the other half of your windshield. I don't look through the other half. That's the easy answer on that one. Why do any more work than you need to? Around here, there's plenty of work. And so you learn not to do any more than you need to do. David Tharp, did you hear about that blonde who drowned? Somebody put a scratch and sniff sticker on the bottom of the pool. Well, let's see. That's a humor for later in the year, David. That doesn't apply right now. Let's see. Tom Armstrong's message retracted. He's got the other one there. Says would look neat with an old sleigh sitting near your pond. Yeah. I don't know whatever happened to it. My dad, when we were growing up, he did have one of those old horse-drawn sleighs, and I never did. I don't remember whatever happened to that. I know the body of the sleigh was in real bad shape, but the big metal runners, they with the big curls around that go, they were pretty cool looking. It would have been neat to restore. Hugh O'Connor says, you wouldn't want to move to the South Pole. It's considerably colder than the North Pole. Yeah, I know that. I'm just being silly, but yeah, I'm just thinking of the South because when you move south, it's warmer. Of course, when you're down that far south, when you move north, it's a lot warmer. Let's see. Bill Mumbo, thumbs up, please. Chipwood, so glad you have gotten your audio in sync. It sure did mess with my vertigo for some reason. You all have a blessed day. Okay. Well, as far as I know, it's close. It doesn't look right to me when I'm looking at it on the screen. It doesn't look correct. It looks off. But you can't, it's hard to figure it out. Sue Peel says, the snow looks so beautiful. It does look like picture postcard. And thank you. And let's see. Benita says, does JR have a sleigh for Oliver to pull and give you and Sue a ride? No, I don't think he does. I don't think he has a sleigh. It would have been cool, with JR being like he is, and JR is my dad made over. It would have been cool if somehow or another that sleigh could have made it through and got to JR, because I'm sure we could have fixed it up, made a really neat deal out of it. But I tell you, the truth is we get enough snow to use it about once per year, if that, if we're lucky. Most years we don't even get enough to use it. Bill Rhodes says, Jerry, is 40 degrees here today. Cool. Well, we're probably on the way to 40. No, it still says 36 right now. Now, that one's a little bit misleading. It's usually a degree or two warmer than the one in the kitchen, and my theory on that is where I have the remote for it setting outside. I have it actually sitting on our front porch, and it's actually sitting on top of the window leaning back against the glass. So, but that room's not heated, so there's not a great big amount of heat loss, but I would imagine that accounts for why this one's usually 1 or 2 degrees warmer than the other one. Let's see. Bill Mumbo, it's a sweltering 8 degrees here in London today. Wow. Now that's Celsius though. So you're above freezing then. That's what I'm just going to assume that that's right. But of course we're above freezing now too. But we weren't until just a little while ago. Ronald Todd, I'm torn between posting or not. Yesterday I got censored for commenting on climate change. That's weird. Let's see. Bill Webb, good afternoon, Jerry and friends. I guess maybe you're talking about my comment about climate change. I didn't feel like I was censoring anybody. I just explain it the way I see it, and that is that it's happened many times over the years. And the question is, what causes it? Well, there weren't any humans around, according to the scientists, a number of times when that happened. So it just happens, Now, I don't doubt that we have some impact on that. I don't doubt that, but I don't think we're the major cause. Garland Edmondson says, here in lower Michigan, when we get 6 inches of snow, the up usually has 24 to 36. Okay, the Upper Peninsula. Wow. Yeah, it does make a lot of difference from north to south, and even in just a state. Missouri's a pretty good-sized state. It's not huge, but from the southern border to the northern border is quite a distance, and there's a huge difference in climate, there's for sure. I mean, I remember Dad used to take us kids, we would go up north rabbit hunting for whatever reason. It was just a place, he had a lot of pasture up there for horses, and you'd be down in shirt sleeve weather down here, and by the time you get up there, you were putting a coat on. It was quite a bit chillier, just a couple hours north, Let's see. Bill Webb says you need a wintertime picture of the pond and the wheelhouse. Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad idea, I guess. Probably need to do that though on when it's fresh and no tracks all through it. Let's see. Tom Armstrong, snow is a natural source of nitrogen and sulfur. Poor man's fertilizer, referring to the earlier comment. Well, it could be. I've never heard that before. Never heard anybody say that before about snow. I mean, the only thing I've heard about it is, of course, it soaks into the ground nice because it melts slow and, it maybe penetrates deeper. I've heard that. I've heard those kinds of comments, but I never heard anything about it being loaded with nitrogen or sulfur or anything like that. Sundog Brewing, by any chance have you checked the condition of the switch you replaced in the Bobcat? Maybe the issue is still there. No, I haven't, and that has occurred to me, but I don't know. Generally speaking, I mean, I'm just saying in general. I'm not saying I'm right here. I'm just saying generally it's been my experience whenever you do something and then the next time you do something, you find out that something else broke, generally you go back to what you did, and that usually had something to do with it, And in this case, I think that's what happened because I cleaned out all that grease and junk out of I was using a scraper pulling this stuff out, and then these wires came loose, and I'm going like, where'd they come from, I mean, they were covered in all that junk. You couldn't see them, And so anyway, I just feel like that's the problem. But then again, you could be 100% correct. You could easily be correct. And that has crossed my mind that, it could be that switch. Wavy Gravy, my snowman has 2 lumps of coal for eyes, a carrot nose, a stovepipe hat, and Thanks to the dog next door, he has yellow. I thought you were going to say yellow toes because that would rhyme with the nose. But yellow shoes, that works too, just doesn't rhyme. See, that's the songwriter in me coming out there. Ronald Todd, YouTube refused to post my comments 3 times. All I said was climate change. That's bizarre. That's really bizarre because I think YouTube's all over climate change. I mean, I'm thinking they'd welcome any kind of comments on climate change as long as they were pro climate change, I guess. I don't know. Like if you said, no, there is no such thing as climate change, they might censor that. At least that's the way I see it. I mean, I could be wrong. Let's see. Steven Saba, Frozen Rain. Yeah. Bill Mumbo, I can see your post, Ronald. Okay. So talking about that climate change again, I guess. Well, anyway, I don't know. I got no real opinion on that in terms of why YouTube would do that or why they wouldn't. I have no idea. But it doesn't surprise me either. I mean, just like my video, all I'm really doing there is now I think what maybe was the breaking point this time was the fact that I showed the bullets and loading the gun, that kind of thing probably made the difference. I don't know, but I didn't point it at the camera or I didn't say I was going to shoot somebody or something or anything like that. All I did was just try to fit a clip in there into a woodworking project. But everybody's got a different opinion on everything. So, it is what it is, and it's the world we live in, and I don't have any option but to go along with it at this point. So that's all I got for today, guys. I don't see any more comments, so I guess we'll let that be it. I do appreciate y'all being here. And I did inform the band that we're not going to have a concert this Thursday. So this Thursday, I'll just do a regular play along. And maybe I'll see if I can get a guest to come in. But with this kind of weather, I doubt it. But you never know. So anyway, we'll do something Thursday. And, of course, it's only Tuesday. So we will see you tomorrow with something else. Thanks for being here.